Alright, so Christmas decorations are supposed to be up in the background, but we've just been having our house decorated, like full on, like we've had a fireplace put in with like a chimney and everything like that. Like, house has been torn apart and we've had a new carpet and everything. So, Christmas decorations actually haven't been brought out yet. And Christmas is in 3 days. Okay, so hello guys, welcome to this video. Merry Christmas. This is the review for Ultimate Spider-Man issue 101, and it's been like a month. Yeah, honestly, I've just been ill, and obviously, as I've just said, we've had like an actual log fire put in our house, like, so there's just been drilling going on like almost every day. We've had a new carpet put in yesterday and stuff like that, so it wasn't the ideal environment to film a video with drilling and hammering going on in the background, and that is why Ultimate Spider-Man issue 101 is being reviewed now. So it's been a while. What happened in the previous issue? Well, if you guys remember, we had Richard Parker return. We had the origin story of Richard Parker and him never getting on the flight that would eventually kill him. So pretty much Richard Parker has been alive this entire time for all these years without any of us knowing it. We also had Gwen Stacy turn into Carnage, and after everything that's been going on with Peter Parker and his clones, etc., we also had Nick Fury turn up outside Peter Parker's house. Aunt May actually suffer a stroke or a heart attack, and then at the very end of the issue, we had Mary Jane waking up from what looked like the experimentation, and we don't really know what happened to her, so that's what we're going to find out. But if you remember as well, guys, I was doing a giveaway for the Miles Morales pop figure, and I said to leave a comment in the comments below, and a randomly picked winner will be revealed in this video. So the winner is Ultimate Johnny DB, and what's really funny is that your comment actually says, if I win, I'm going to go crazy, and well, you actually won, so yeah, congratulations. So if you want to like get in contact with me like on Twitter or Instagram, or you can just leave a comment on this video again and I'll just find you, or I'll just get in contact with you and we'll sort out where to send this to you yeah, you know what I mean. Hope you enjoy it. Thank you, and of course, for everybody else that entered the giveaway, there's going to be more of these, don't worry. Probably in the next video, so look out for that. Anyway guys, without any further ado, we need to see what's happening with Gwen Stacy becoming Carnage and what the heck has happened to Mary Jane. But I have a feeling you guys are probably going to hate Nick Fury by the end of this issue. So yeah, there's a little glimpse. Let's get into it, and let's go and hate Nick Fury. Okay, so getting into the issue, and it feels so good to be reviewing these Ultimate Spider-Man comics again. It's so awesome to see Carnage, aka Gwen Stacy, blasting out of the window towards this army of Spider Slayers. Now, one of the most awesome things about this is the fact that it actually feels like a genuine scary situation. I mean, Peter Parker is in the middle of it all, and what you've got to remember is that Aunt May is in the house suffering from a stroke or a heart attack, and then there's all this carnage and chaos, no pun intended, happening directly outside their house. And to put that situation into perspective, there's actually a panel right here where all of the Spider Slayers begin to shoot at Carnage, and when they miss, the beams actually go straight through the house, barely missing Aunt May and Peter Parker. And I think something that shines through really well for Peter Parker as a character is just how much he truly cares for Aunt May in situations like this. Like, this is where it shines through that Peter Parker really does want to protect Aunt May, and he's like trying to keep her safe by not telling her that he's Spider-Man and everything, because it leads to situations like this. And one of my favourite moments in the entire issue by far is when Peter Parker jumps out of the house towards Nick Fury in a fit of rage and actually picks Nick Fury up by the throat, talking about if anything happens to Aunt May, then he's pretty much going to kill him. And I just love it because Peter Parker is like a 15-year-old kid, and realistically, someone like Peter Parker wouldn't actually be a threat. But at the end of the day, Peter Parker has super strength, so all this time Nick Fury might not consider Peter Parker like a major threat or anything, but then if you get on the wrong side of it, you should probably be pretty scared of Peter Parker when he's angry, because he could break your neck with like a flick of his finger. It's just awesome to see your favourite characters lose their temper, to see what they can truly be capable of. Moving on, so something else that I like about this issue is the fact that it actually brings in multiple characters. Now, we haven't seen the Fantastic Four for like 2 or 3 issues now, and then during this situation, the Fantastic Four show up because obviously they are friends with Spider-Man. And in a way, I feel like the Fantastic Four represent us as the reader, because what you've got to remember is like none of this is Peter Parker's fault. We've got Peter's Aunt May actually dying in the house, and Nick Fury just doesn't care about any of it. So I feel like us as the reader is actually sat here reading the comic, questioning like what Nick Fury is doing and that is exactly what happens when the Fantastic Four arrive on the scene. They also question Nick Fury's actions as well. Now, this was also around the time of reading the comic when I began to dislike Nick Fury a little bit, just because for the first time in a long time, it doesn't really seem like Nick Fury knows all the answers or really knows what he's doing entirely. Like, usually, Nick Fury is the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. He is the Nick Fury, but this is the first time where I personally felt like he was wrong. Something that's also extremely important to point out that we just passed was the fact that Richard Parker didn't actually know what he was doing when Aunt May suffered a heart attack. He didn't really know what to do. Even though he's a doctor, he genuinely didn't know what to do. And I think that's something that you guys need to pay attention to. Like, it's something that's going to come up again in the future of these issues, within the next 2 issues or so, and it's going to lead to some interesting places. So just keep an eye out for that. But now, continuing throughout the issue, you can see that Nick Fury gives the go-ahead to blast all weapons at Carnage. And one of the craziest things about this is that when this actually happens, once the dust settles, it's Gwen Stacy that's left stood there. Again, the issue just gets crazier and crazier, and one of my favourite things about the whole Carnage thing in the Fantastic Four is how Reed Richards actually was very interested and intrigued by the Carnage symbiote. He wasn't scared of it, he was more like scientifically obsessed with it. It was just really cool. And of course, I'm probably thinking that loads of you guys are going to have a lot of questions by the end of this issue, so yeah, ask them in the comments below. But getting on throughout the issue even further, the comic just gets more twisted and more mental when we go back over to the scarred Peter Parker and Mary Jane. Now she's had this experiment done on her, she's had the Oz formula injected into her, and you can see Peter Parker going through the things about the Oz formula creating Dr. Octopus, Green Goblin and Spider-Man, and so he's sort of hoping that it's gonna like save Mary Jane as well. Well, the final page, we are on it. And, well, Mary Jane becomes a giant freaking monster. And the worst part about this is, like, our real Peter Parker doesn't know any of this is happening. I mean, Aunt May's found out Peter's Spider-Man. Aunt May's just had a heart attack. Peter's, like, basically Peter Parker's worst nightmares are coming into fruition. And it's getting crazy. But guys, that is the end of this issue. I hope you enjoyed it. And, of course, all the questions you've got down in the comments below, let me know. But now let's go back over to me on camera so we can discuss this even further. What the heck is going on in this issue? I mean, one of the best things for me personally is when Peter Parker looks like he's genuinely going to murder Nick Fury, and the best part is when he says something along the lines of, if anything happens to Aunt May, and then he literally just grips Nick Fury by the throat and picks him up. My god, I mean, the reason why it's so good is because Peter Parker is like a puny 15-year-old kid, but he's a badass. Like, he actually has the strength to rip Nick Fury in half. So that's why it's so awesome, because in reality, Nick Fury should actually be afraid of Peter Parker, because he can do these things. If you remember at the beginning of the video as well, I did say that you will probably hate Nick Fury by the end of this issue, and I hope some of you guys actually got that impression, because Nick Fury just kind of seemed to be attacking Peter Parker for no reason. Like, instead of just going to Peter Parker and explaining to him what's happened and like, oh, we just need you to come in for a bit, we need to like close this down sort of thing. Instead, Nick Fury just goes straight to Peter Parker's house and, well, threatens him and causes Aunt May to have a heart attack, and just, it's not good. I thought it was really interesting to get the Fantastic Four back into this comic again. I mean, we haven't seen them for like 2 issues now, I think, and it's awesome how they just kind of jumped in there at the right time, sticking up for Peter Parker / Spider-Man, and it really seemed like they were representing the reader and like our thoughts, like sort of like jumping in and being like, Nick Fury, there's a dying woman in that house, why do you not care? And that really played a big role, like with Fantastic Four being there, and I just loved how intrigued Reed Richards was with the Carnage symbiote, just kind of like asking it questions, where its origin came from, and it was just really interesting. It was like one of those really scientific, like, Reed Richards is like blown away by what he's seen, and instead of being scared of it, he just wanted to like get up close and examine it. It was awesome. Something that I think that is very important to point out as well, and maybe some of you guys noticed it, maybe some of you guys didn't, it's when Richard Parker doesn't actually know what to do. And that is something that you guys should keep an eye on, because there's going to be a few reveals within the next issue or the next 2 issues, and it's going to lead back to that situation where even though Richard Parker's a doctor, for some reason he didn't know what the heck he'd like to do. So keep that in mind. As for the rest of the issue, it was a very enclosed issue. I mean, it all took place in just one location. It's been known for the Ultimate Spider-Man comics to do this a lot throughout the entire series, especially in Ultimate Spider-Man issue 13, where the entire issue took place in Peter Parker's bedroom. So it's nice to see that that sort of tradition is carrying on throughout these Ultimate Spider-Man issues, 100 issues into the series. But of course, going on to one of the main things of the issue, like one of the craziest things that none of you guys were probably ever expecting, was for Mary Jane to turn into a giant freaking monster. Like, I don't even know what kind of monster that is. I think it's just a random monster. Like, I don't think it's any certain character. Mary Jane has been turned into a monster, and the worst part is that the real Peter Parker doesn't even know where she is, or the fact that she's been like mutated. One of the things that was really interesting to me was the fact that the Peter Parker with the scarred face that actually did this to her was actually concerned for Mary Jane. Like, for a second you actually felt like he actually was the real Peter Parker, like a clone of the real Peter Parker, but it was a little bit skewed. But at the end of the day, he still thought he was Spider-Man. He still thought that he could protect Mary Jane by doing this. And at the end of the day, he still does care about Mary Jane. So when this happens to Mary Jane, you can just see the look on his face and sort of think, yeah, like, he screwed up. One thing that's really funny as well is, like, this scarred Peter Parker is talking about how this Oz formula created Green Goblin, Norman Osborn, it created Dr. Octopus, it created him as Spider-Man. Does he not click onto the fact that the outcome of taking the Oz formula is unpredictable? I mean, Dr. Octopus became Dr. Octopus, Norman Osborn became a giant goblin, and then Peter Parker got spider powers. I mean, those things could not be further apart from each other, so I don't know why he thought that Mary Jane would not turn into a monster. Like, it was a pretty high chance that she would, so I don't know why he didn't think of that, but yeah, weird. So as for the overall issue, guys, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10. My main thing about this issue, and probably one of the best things about the entire thing, was Peter Parker's anger throughout the entire issue as a whole was just amazing. Like, picking up Nick Fury by the neck, him just straight up jumping out of the house to go and stop everything that's going on because Aunt May's had a heart attack. And I just loved it when Nick Fury was stood there and Peter Parker was like lunging towards him because he was like, dude, you just gave my aunt a heart attack. And that doesn't set lightly on Peter Parker's shoulders. So that was one of the best things of the issue, but of course we had the multiple characters for Fantastic Four. So yeah, 9 out of 10. Guys, let me know what you thought in the comments section below, because I would love to talk about this issue with you guys. We had some crazy stuff going on with Gwen Stacy, Mary Jane, Peter Parker picking up Nick Fury, the Fantastic Four, Aunt May having a heart attack, and something to keep your eye on, Richard Parker not actually knowing how to be a doctor. Guys, hit the like button on this video, hit the subscribe button for more Ultimate Spider-Man reviews. Oh, and also, before we end this video, I just want to let you guys know that I've uploaded a 3rd video to my 2nd YouTube channel. The link's in the description, and it's pretty much going over how to survive university, like some tips if you start in university, or like if you're going through university right now and stuff that I learned whilst I was there. So yeah, the link's in the description, check that out. And yeah, so if you want more videos like this, guys, hit the subscribe button. Spider-Man PS4 is so close to coming out. It's like 6 months. It's like mid-2018, I imagine. And that's not too far away, so I'm buying a PS4 Pro for that. Cannot wait. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment below, and I will see you all in my next video. Congratulations to the winner of the pop figure. Yeah. See you later.